In the heart of the Himalayas, where the earth reaches toward heaven, lies a kingdom unlike any other on earth. Nepal. A land where the tropical lowlands surrender to temperate hills. Where those hills climb relentlessly toward the frozen heights of the world's tallest mountains. Here, in this vertical wilderness, nature orchestrates its most dramatic performance across 4 distinct acts. When winter's icy grip transforms the landscape into a crystalline wonderland, survival becomes an art form mastered only by the most resilient. As spring awakens the sleeping valleys, rhododendrons explode in crimson cascades down mountainsides, and the air fills with the calls of returning birds. Summer brings the monsoon's life-giving torrents, transforming dusty plains into emerald seas of grass. When autumn paints the forests in gold and amber, the mountains prepare once again for winter's return. This is Nepal's eternal cycle, where each season brings its own challenges, its own victories, its own spectacular display of life's incredible tenacity. Winter in Nepal arrives like a silent conqueror, transforming the landscape into a realm of stark beauty and brutal challenge. The monsoon's last whispers fade into memory, as temperatures plummet and the high peaks become shrouded in perpetual snow. In the lowlands, morning mist clings to river valleys, while frost transforms rice paddies into fields of crystal. The rhododendron forests stand bare and waiting, their branches etched against gray skies like ancient calligraphy. This is the season when only the truly adapted survive. Predators must range further for scarcer prey, while herbivores compete for dwindling vegetation. Water sources freeze at altitude, forcing animals into dangerous migrations toward lower elevations. The very air becomes an enemy, thin and biting, testing every creature's resolve to see another spring. In this harsh theater of survival, territorial disputes intensify as resources become precious commodities. Mountain sheep clash horns on narrow ledges, while big cats expand their hunting territories. The weak fall, prey not only to predators, but to the merciless cold itself. Yet within this seemingly hostile environment, nature has crafted some of its most remarkable adaptations. The landscape itself tells the story of winter's dominance. Alpine meadows that sparkled with wildflowers just months before now lie buried beneath snow that may not melt until spring's return. Forests of blue pine and fir stand sentinel against howling winds, their needles glazed with ice. River valleys that once thundered with monsoon torrents now flow quietly between banks of frozen earth and stone. High above the tree line, where the air grows thin and the silence is broken only by the whisper of wind through stone, a phantom moves through the twilight. The snow leopard emerges from behind a wind-carved boulder, its pale coat adorned with dark rosettes that seem to absorb the failing light. This is the ghost of the mountains, perfectly evolved for life in one of Earth's most unforgiving environments. She pauses, scanning the rocky terrain below with pale green eyes that miss nothing. Her massive paws, fringed with fur that acts like natural snowshoes, grip the icy surface with effortless precision. Each breath creates a small cloud of vapor that dissipates quickly in the dry mountain air. Her long, thick tail, nearly as long as her body, serves as both balancing pole and warming blanket, wrapped around her when she rests. The snow leopard's territory spans dozens of square kilometers of vertical wilderness, a realm of sheer cliff faces, hidden valleys and windswept ridges. She moves with fluid grace across terrain that would challenge the most experienced mountaineer. Her powerful haunches propelling her up slopes that seem impossible to navigate. Every step is calculated, every movement conserved for maximum efficiency in this energy-starved landscape. Her hunt begins in earnest as darkness deeps. The snow leopard's acute hearing picks up the subtle sound of hooves against stone echoing from a ravine below. Her prey, a small herd of baral, has descended from even higher elevations in search of the sparse vegetation that grows in wind-protected pockets among the rocks. She begins her descent, moving like flowing water over the rocky terrain, each placement of her paws deliberate and silent. The stalking snow leopard embodies patience itself, sometimes following prey for hours across the most treacherous terrain. Her thick coat, consisting of dense underfur beneath longer guard hairs, protects her from temperatures that can drop to -40 degrees. The dark markings around her eyes reduce glare from snow and ice, while her wide nasal cavities warm the frigid air before it reaches her lungs. While the snow leopard rules the highest peaks, life persists in Nepal's middle elevations, where bamboo forests create natural shelters against winter's assault. Here, among the swaying green culms that remain verdant, even as snow dusts their leaves, another remarkable creature has mastered the art of winter survival. The red panda appears like a living ember against the monochrome landscape, its russet coat providing a startling splash of warmth in the cold forest. This particular red panda, a female heavy with unborn cubs, moves with careful deliberation through her bamboo domain. Her semi-retractable claws grip bark with remarkable dexterity as she navigates the vertical highways of her forest home. Unlike her larger cousin, the giant panda, she possesses the agility of a large cat combined with the tree-climbing prowess of a monkey. She pauses to examine a particular bamboo shoot, her mobile ears swiveling to catch any sound of approaching danger. Her ringed tail, almost as long as her body, serves multiple purposes: balance during her arboreal acrobatics, a warm wrap during cold nights, and a signal flag to communicate with other red pandas in the area. The distinctive facial markings, white around her ears and dark tear marks below her eyes, give her an almost mask-like appearance that has earned her species the nickname fire fox. The red panda's winter diet consists primarily of bamboo leaves and shoots, supplemented by fruits, insects, and occasionally bird eggs. Her specialized thumb, actually a modified wrist bone, allows her to grip bamboo stalks with precision, while her sharp teeth make quick work of the tough plant material. She must consume enormous quantities to meet her energy needs, as bamboo provides relatively little nutrition per mouthful. As afternoon light filters through the bamboo canopy, she selects a sturdy branch high above the ground for her rest. Curling into a tight ball with her tail wrapped around her body like a natural blanket, she demonstrates one of nature's most efficient solutions to conserving body heat. Her thick double coat, consisting of soft, dense underfur beneath longer guard hairs, creates an insulating layer that traps warm air close to her skin. The pregnant red panda will give birth to her cubs in early spring, timing their arrival to coincide with the season's increasing food availability. Her choice of den sites reveals remarkable foresight. Hollow trees or rock crevices that provide protection from both predators and the elements while remaining close to reliable food sources. Even as the red panda settles into her afternoon rest, movement on the steep cliff faces above reveals another master of winter survival. A herd of baral, the blue sheep that are neither truly blue nor sheep, pick their way across a precipitous rock face with supernatural confidence. These wild relatives of sheep and goats have evolved into the ultimate mountaineers, capable of navigating terrain that would challenge experienced rock climbers. The lead male, his curved horns scarred from countless battles for dominance, tests each foothold with practiced precision. His hooves, hard at the edges but soft in the center, grip the smallest irregularities in the rock surface. Behind him, the herd follows in single file, including several females heavy with the offspring they will bear in spring. The baral's blue-gray coat provides remarkable camouflage against the rocky slopes they call home. In winter light, they seem to materialize from the mountain itself, their coloration blending seamlessly with granite and limestone. This natural camouflage serves them well against their primary predator, the snow leopard, which depends on surprise and ambush tactics to secure its prey. A sudden scatter of loose stones from above alerts the herd to potential danger. Their reaction is instantaneous and breathtaking. They bound across the cliff face with impossible grace, their powerful legs propelling them from ledge to ledge in a display of natural parkour that defies gravity. Each animal lands precisely where it intended, their split hooves adjusting automatically to accommodate different angles and textures of rock. The baral's winter survival strategy revolves around their incredible mobility and their ability to exploit food resources in areas too dangerous for most predators to follow. They scrape away snow with their hooves to reach the sparse grasses and lichens that grow in protected crevices. Their four-chambered stomachs allow them to extract maximum nutrition from these marginal food sources, while their thick winter coats provide insulation against the bitter mountain winds. Social dynamics within the herd become crucial during winter's harshest months. The animals huddle together for warmth during the worst weather, sharing body heat and sheltered spots among the rocks. The dominant male maintains his position through displays of strength and agility, leading the herd to the best foraging areas and standing guard while others feed. The Tibetan wolf emerges from a shelter among boulders, her pale gray coat thick with the dense undercoat that protects her from temperatures that regularly drop below freezing. She moves with the purposeful gait of a predator that has learned to extract every calorie from an environment that offers few second chances. Her pack, reduced to just 3 individuals after the harsh winter, demonstrates the social cooperation that makes wolves successful in marginal habitats. Each member has a specific role in the hunt that will unfold across the moonlit landscape. The alpha female leads the advance, testing scent trails left by potential prey during their daily movements between feeding and sheltering areas. The Tibetan wolf's adaptations for high-altitude hunting become apparent as she navigates terrain that challenges even the most sure-footed prey species. Her broad paws distribute weight efficiently across snow and loose scree, while her powerful cardiovascular system delivers oxygen effectively despite the thin mountain air. Her pack's hunting strategy relies on endurance rather than explosive speed, wearing down prey through relentless pursuit across terrain where escape routes are limited. The wolves' howling echoes across frozen valleys, a sound that has defined wilderness for thousands of generations. Their vocalizations serve multiple purposes: coordinating pack movements during hunts, maintaining contact across vast territories, and warning competing packs away from scarce winter resources. The haunting calls carry for kilometers in the clear, cold air, adding a soundtrack of primeval wildness to the stark mountain landscape. While the wolf pack begins its nocturnal hunt, dawn reveals another master of winter survival in entirely different terrain. The bearded vulture soars along wind-carved ridges, riding thermals that rise from valleys beginning to warm under the early sun. His massive wingspan, stretching nearly 3 meters from tip to tip, allows him to remain aloft for hours while covering vast distances, in search of the carrion that sustains him through winter's lean months. The bearded vulture's remarkable adaptations for scavenging become apparent as he adjusts his flight pattern to investigate potential food sources below. His acute eyesight can detect carrion from distances that would challenge modern optical equipment, while his powerful digestive system can process materials that would prove toxic to most other species. His most unique feeding behavior involves dropping bones from great heights to crack them open and access the nutritious marrow within. His distinctive appearance, with feathered head and neck that distinguish him from other vulture species, reflects his specialized ecological niche. The beard-like feathers that give him his name may serve multiple functions, from protecting his face during feeding to playing a role in social displays with other bearded vultures. His relatively small head and pointed beak allow him to access food sources in locations too confined for larger scavengers. The bearded vulture's role in mountain ecosystems extends far beyond simple cleanup duty. His ability to process and sanitize carrion helps prevent the spread of disease through wildlife populations, while his efficient scavenging removes potential attractants that might draw dangerous predators closer to human settlements. His presence often indicates healthy populations of the large mammals that provide his primary food source. High among the boulder fields where winter's grip is absolute, a flash of movement reveals one of the mountain's most industrious residents. The Himalayan pika emerges from a crevice between frost-covered rocks, her round ears twitching as she surveys the crystalline wasteland that has claimed her domain for another season. This small tailless relative of rabbits and hares has mastered the art of preparation, transforming summer's abundance into winter's salvation through sheer determination and ancient wisdom. Her survival strategy unfolds like a masterpiece of natural engineering. Throughout the brief mountain summer, she gathered and dried vegetation with obsessive precision, creating hay piles that now sustain her through months when fresh food becomes impossible to find. These carefully constructed stores, hidden beneath protective overhangs and within rock crevices, represent the difference between life and death in an environment where temperatures plummet far below survival limits for most mammals. The pika's winter activity defies the conventional wisdom that suggests small mammals must hibernate to survive at altitude. Instead, she remains alert and active beneath the snow, her thick fur and efficient metabolism allowing her to venture out even on the coldest days. Her distinctive alarm calls, sharp whistles that carry across frozen slopes, maintain contact with neighboring pikas, and warn of approaching predators that might threaten her carefully hoarded resources. As winter's icy grip begins to weaken, the first warm winds carry the promise of change, melting snow at lower elevations and awakening streams that have slept beneath winter's frozen blanket. This is the season of return and renewal. Birds that fled to warmer climates during the harsh months begin their homeward migration, filling the air with songs not heard since autumn. Spring brings its own set of challenges and opportunities. Predators emerge from winter's privation to find prey animals vulnerable from the season's demands. Mothers heavy with young must balance the need for nutrition with the approaching demands of birth and nurturing. Territory disputes intensify as animals reclaim ranges that may have been abandoned during winter's harshest months. The changing landscape reveals winter's toll and spring's promise in equal measure. New vegetation pushes through soil enriched by the decomposition of last autumn's fallen leaves. High mountain passes, impassable for months, begin to clear as warming temperatures melt the deep snow that blocked access to summer grazing grounds. In the lowland forests and grasslands, a different drama unfolds as the ecosystem awakens from its winter dormancy. As the forest awakens from winter's dormancy, a golden streak flashes through the emerging canopy with feline grace. The yellow-throated marten bounds along a thick branch with the confidence of an animal equally at home in trees or on the ground. Her brilliant golden fur catching dappled sunlight that filters through budding leaves. The distinctive yellow throat patch that gives her species its name gleams like captured sunshine against her rich brown coat. Her emergence from her winter den marks the beginning of spring's most active hunting season. The marten's incredible agility becomes apparent as she navigates the three-dimensional highway of the forest canopy. Her semi-retractable claws gripping bark with precision while her long, bushy tail serves as a dynamic balance aid during impossible-seeming leaps between trees. Her powerful hind legs can propel her across gaps that would challenge much larger predators. The yellow-throated marten's spring hunting strategy takes advantage of the season's abundance of vulnerable prey. Bird nests, filled with eggs or helpless nestlings, become primary targets for her raids, while her keen intelligence allows her to remember the locations of productive hunting areas across her extensive territory. Her varied diet reflects the opportunistic nature that makes her species successful. Small mammals, birds, insects, fruits, and even honey when she can access wild bee colonies. In the warming forests of Nepal's southern lowlands, where sal trees spread their broad canopies over rich alluvial soil, an ancient presence stirs. The Asian elephant moves through the dappled morning light like a living monument to nature's grandest ambitions. Her massive frame, standing nearly 3 meters at the shoulder, speaks of power constrained by wisdom, of strength tempered by intelligence that has been refined over millions of years of evolution. She emerges from a grove of towering trees, her gray skin mapped with intricate patterns of wrinkles that tell the story of decades spent in these forests. Each step is surprisingly silent despite her enormous weight, her broad, cushioned feet spreading to distribute her mass across the forest floor. Her trunk, that remarkable fusion of nose and upper lip containing over 40,000 muscles, swings gently as she tests the air for scents that carry information about food, water, and potential dangers. The matriarch pauses at the edge of a clearing where new grass has begun to emerge, brilliant green against the dark soil. Her trunk reaches down to pluck the tender shoots with delicate precision, curling them back toward her mouth with movements that seem almost choreographed. Behind her, the rest of her family group emerges from the forest. Her sister, 2 adolescent daughters, and a young male who will soon be approaching the age when he must leave the protective circle of the matriarchy. Spring represents a critical time for elephant families. The increasing abundance of fresh vegetation allows mothers to produce the rich milk their calves require for rapid growth. The matriarch's knowledge becomes invaluable now, guiding her family to traditional feeding areas that have sustained elephant generations. Her memory, accumulated over more than 50 years, serves as the group's living map of resources and seasonal patterns. As the morning progresses, the elephant family demonstrates the complex social behaviors that have made their species one of the most successful large mammals. They communicate through a range of vocalizations, from the low-frequency rumbles that can travel for kilometers to the trumpet calls that express excitement or alarm. Their trunks serve as hands, tools, and communication devices, touching and caressing in displays of affection that reinforce the bonds holding the family together. The Asian elephant's role in Nepal's ecosystem extends far beyond her impressive physical presence. As she feeds, she creates openings in the forest canopy that allow light to reach smaller plants. Her dung, rich in nutrients and containing undigested seeds, serves as fertilizer and disperses plant species across the landscape. The paths she creates through dense forest become highways used by countless other species. While the elephant family continues their methodical progress through the lowland forests, another presence moves through the middle elevation forests with entirely different intentions. The Himalayan black bear emerges from his winter den among the rocks, his thick black coat showing the effects of months spent in dormancy. His distinctive V-shaped chest patch of cream-colored fur catches the filtered sunlight as he moves through the rhododendron forest with surprising grace for such a powerfully built animal. The bear's emergence from hibernation marks one of spring's most dramatic transitions. For nearly 6 months, his body has survived on stored fat reserves while his metabolic rate dropped to a fraction of its normal level. Now, awakened by rising temperatures and the irresistible scent of emerging vegetation, he faces the challenge of rebuilding his strength and body mass before the next winter cycle begins. His first priority is water, and he follows an ancient trail toward a mountain stream swollen with snowmelt. The bear's powerful claws, perfectly adapted for both climbing and digging, leave deep marks in the soft earth as he navigates the steep terrain. His gait appears shambling and ungainly, but he moves with deceptive speed across ground that would challenge many more graceful-appearing animals. At the stream's edge, he demonstrates the adaptability that has made his species successful across a vast range of Asian habitats. Standing upright on his hind legs, he scans the surrounding forest with keen intelligence, his excellent hearing and sense of smell compensating for relatively poor eyesight. Satisfied that no immediate threats lurk nearby, he drops to all fours and begins the serious business of refueling his depleted body. The Himalayan black bear's spring diet reflects his opportunistic nature. He strips bark from trees to reach the nutritious cambium layer beneath, his powerful jaws making quick work of even tough outer bark. His claws serve as precision tools, delicately extracting insects from rotting logs and overturning stones to reveal hidden grubs. When he discovers a patch of emerging ferns, his feeding becomes almost delicate, his massive paws carefully selecting the most tender fronds. This bear's territorial awareness becomes apparent as he feeds. He periodically pauses to mark trees with his scent, standing upright to reach as high as possible before rubbing his back against the bark. These scent markers communicate his presence to other bears in the area, establishing territorial boundaries that will help prevent dangerous confrontations during the competitive months ahead. Even as the bear settles into his spring routine, movement in the lowland wetlands reveals another of Nepal's most remarkable success stories. The one-horned rhinoceros wades through morning mist that rises from warming marshlands, her massive form creating gentle ripples across the still water. She represents one of conservation's greatest victories, a species pulled back from the brink of extinction through dedicated protection efforts. The rhinoceros moves with surprising grace through her aquatic environment, her broad feet spreading to prevent her from sinking into the soft mud bottom. Her single horn, actually compressed hair rather than bone, catches the early morning light as she lifts her head to scan for danger. The horn serves multiple purposes: a tool for breaking through dense vegetation, a weapon against predators or rivals, and a symbol of power within rhinoceros society. Her armored hide, appearing almost medieval in its protective plates and folds, actually consists of a single layer of skin that has thickened and hardened through evolution. The hide's apparent segmentation serves a practical purpose, allowing flexibility at the joints while providing maximum protection across the torso and flanks. Small birds, oxpeckers, and egrets maintain a symbiotic relationship with the rhinoceros, feeding on parasites while serving as early warning systems for approaching threats. The wetland environment supports the rhinoceros in multiple ways during spring's renewal. The soft aquatic vegetation provides easily digestible nutrition that helps females produce the rich milk their calves require. The water itself offers relief from biting insects and helps regulate body temperature as the weather warms towards summer's heat. The muddy substrate allows the rhinoceros to wallow, covering her skin with a protective coating that serves as both sunscreen and insect repellent. Spring mating season brings dramatic changes to rhinoceros behavior. Males become increasingly territorial, marking their ranges with dung piles that communicate their presence and status to other rhinoceros in the area. Their vocalizations, ranging from deep grunts to whistling calls, carry across the wetlands as they seek receptive females and warn away competing males. The female rhinoceros demonstrates remarkable maternal instincts as she prepares for the possibility of adding to her lineage. She seeks out the most protected areas of her territory, places where dense vegetation and water barriers will provide security for a vulnerable calf. Her grazing patterns change as well, focusing on the most nutritious plants available to build the energy reserves she will need for pregnancy and lactation. As the rhinoceros continues her methodical grazing in the warming wetlands, the middle elevation forests come alive with the territorial calls of one of Nepal's most magnificent pheasants. The Himalayan monal bursts from dense undergrowth in an explosion of iridescent color, his plumage catching spring sunlight in flashes of emerald, sapphire, and copper. He represents one of nature's most spectacular examples of sexual selection, his brilliant colors serving as both territory marker and courtship display. The male monal's spring behavior centers around establishing and defending territory that will attract females during the breeding season ahead. His distinctive call, a penetrating whistle that carries across forested valleys, announces his presence while warning rival males away from his chosen territory. His powerful legs, equipped with sharp spurs, serve as weapons during the fierce battles that determine access to the best nesting areas. His feeding behavior reflects the opportunistic nature that allows his species to thrive across a range of mountain habitats. He uses his strong beak to dig for roots, bulbs, and insects in forest soil, enriched by winter's accumulation of fallen leaves. His diet shifts with seasonal availability, taking advantage of emerging shoots in spring, fruits and berries in summer, and seeds and nuts in autumn. The Himalayan monal's role as Nepal's national bird reflects both his spectacular beauty and his importance as an indicator species for healthy mountain forest ecosystems. His presence suggests intact forest canopy, adequate ground cover for nesting, and the complex food webs that support diverse wildlife communities. His territorial displays, visible from considerable distances, add splashes of brilliant color to the green tapestry of spring forests. Even as the monal's calls echo through the forest canopy, movement among the emerging wildflowers reveals another of spring's remarkable specialists. The ruby-cheeked sunbird hovers at a rhododendron blossom, her iridescent throat catching sunlight like a tiny jewel as she probes for nectar with her curved, specialized bill. She represents the perfect co-evolution between flowering plants and their pollinators. Her feeding behavior essential to the reproductive success of Nepal's spectacular mountain flora. The sunbird's feeding strategy requires incredible precision and energy management. Her rapid wing beats, nearly invisible to the human eye, allow her to hover at flower faces, while her tubular tongue extends deep into corolla tubes to reach hidden nectar reserves. Her lightweight build, weighing less than 10 grams, makes this energy-intensive feeding style possible, while her remarkable memory allows her to maintain detailed maps of productive flower patches across her territory. Her nest-building behavior demonstrates engineering skills that rival any human architect. Using spider silk, plant down, and carefully selected moss, she constructs a hanging nest that provides both protection from predators and insulation for her eggs during spring's unpredictable weather. The nest's entrance, positioned on the side with a small, overhanging roof, protects the interior from rain while allowing easy access for the parent birds. The ruby-cheeked sunbird's role in mountain ecosystems extends far beyond her individual survival needs. Her pollination services ensure the reproductive success of dozens of plant species, many of which depend entirely on sunbirds for genetic exchange between widely scattered populations. Her feeding preferences, which change throughout the flowering season, help maintain the diversity of mountain flora by preventing any single plant species from monopolizing pollinator attention. Summer arrives in Nepal with the drama of the monsoon, transforming the landscape into a realm of overwhelming abundance and dangerous beauty. The pre-monsoon heat builds to nearly unbearable intensity before the first clouds gather along the southern horizon, pregnant with the moisture that will sustain life through another annual cycle. When the rains finally arrive, they come with tropical fury, turning dry riverbeds into torrents and dusty plains into emerald seas of grass. This is the season when Nepal's biodiversity reaches its peak expression. The lowland forests become nearly impenetrable walls of green, where every available niche supports some form of life. Insects swarm in clouds so dense they darken the air, providing food for countless birds, bats, and small mammals. The very air seems to pulse with life as temperatures and humidity create greenhouse conditions that accelerate every biological process. The monsoon brings both opportunity and peril. Rivers that meandered peacefully through their channels become raging torrents capable of reshaping the landscape overnight. Floods can destroy territories that took generations to establish, while mudslides remake entire hillsides in minutes. Yet these same forces distribute fertile sediment across floodplains and create the conditions necessary for the explosion of life that defines Nepal's summer. Predation intensifies during summer's abundance as prey species multiply rapidly in response to unlimited food resources. The dense vegetation provides perfect cover for ambush predators, while herbivores must remain constantly vigilant despite the distractions of feeding and raising young. The forest itself becomes a complex three-dimensional battlefield where every tree, every shadow, every rustle of leaves might conceal either opportunity or danger. In the steaming jungles of the Tahr, where ancient trees draped in vines create a cathedral of green shadows, the ultimate predator prepares for the hunt. Temperature and humidity have transformed the forest into a natural greenhouse, where every surface drips with condensation, and the air itself seems thick enough to drink. Through this primeval landscape, a shadow moves with liquid grace between massive buttress roots of towering trees. The Bengal tiger emerges from behind a curtain of hanging vines, her orange coat marked with black stripes that seem to absorb and scatter light simultaneously. She is the embodiment of perfect predatory evolution, combining massive strength with surprising stealth in a package that weighs nearly 200 kilograms. Her amber eyes scan the jungle floor ahead, missing nothing in their systematic survey of her domain. Each padded paw placement is calculated to minimize sound, her retractable claws gripping soft earth and fallen leaves, without creating the telltale scraping that might alert potential prey. Her muscular shoulders bunch and release with each step, power held in careful reserve until the moment when explosive speed becomes necessary. The tigress moves deeper into her territory, following game trails that have been used by countless generations of forest animals. Her acute hearing picks up every sound: the distant trumpet of an elephant, the warning bark of spotted deer, the splash of a fish jumping in a nearby stream. Her territorial markings, scent posts scratched into tree bark and refreshed regularly, remind all other forest inhabitants that this section of jungle belongs to one of nature's most efficient killing machines. Summer abundance has made her territory rich with prey, but it has also increased competition. Her own cubs, now nearly adult, will soon need territories of their own, while neighboring tigers probe the boundaries of her domain for signs of weakness or opportunity. The monsoon's dense vegetation provides excellent stalking cover, but it also conceals the movements of prey species that have learned to use the same environmental conditions for their own protection. As afternoon thunderclouds build overhead, the tigress demonstrates the patience that makes her species so successful. She settles into a natural blind created by fallen logs and dense undergrowth, positioned along a trail that shows recent signs of sambar deer passage. Her breathing slows and deepens as she enters the meditative state that allows her to remain motionless for hours while maintaining perfect readiness to explode into action. The tiger's role as apex predator extends far beyond her immediate hunting success. Her presence shapes the behavior of every herbivore in her territory, creating what ecologists call a landscape of fear that prevents overgrazing and maintains the delicate balance between plant and animal communities. Even when she is not actively hunting, the possibility of her presence influences where deer feed, how monkeys move through the canopy, and when smaller predators dare to venture into open areas. High above the tiger's patient vigil, another master predator navigates the forest's three-dimensional highways with different but equally impressive skills. The clouded leopard moves through the canopy like a four-legged tightrope walker, her distinctive cloud-shaped markings seeming to shift and flow as dappled sunlight filters through the green ceiling above. She represents evolution's answer to arboreal hunting, perfectly adapted for life in the trees where many prey species seek refuge from ground-dwelling predators. Her remarkable adaptations for arboreal life become apparent with every movement. Ankles that can rotate nearly 180 degrees allow her to descend tree trunks headfirst with complete confidence. Her extraordinarily long tail, nearly as long as her body, serves as a dynamic counterbalance during impossible-seeming acrobatic maneuvers through the canopy. Her powerful hind legs can propel her across gaps that would challenge much larger cats, while her broad paws grip bark with precision that rivals any primate. The clouded leopard's hunting strategy takes full advantage of the three-dimensional nature of her environment. She moves silently along major branches, testing each step before committing her full weight, her padded paws making no sound against bark and leaves. Her prey includes not only arboreal mammals like langur monkeys and flying squirrels, but also ground-dwelling animals that she can ambush from above with devastating surprise attacks. Her canine teeth, proportionally longer than those of any other cat species, serve as precision instruments capable of delivering fatal bites to prey much larger than herself. These impressive weapons, combined with her powerful neck muscles, allow her to kill quickly and efficiently before dragging her prey into the trees where it can be consumed without interference from scavenging competitors. The monsoon season provides ideal hunting conditions for the clouded leopard. Dense foliage conceals her movements, while the constant sound of dripping water masks any inadvertent noise. Prey animals, focused on taking advantage of the season's abundant food resources, become less vigilant about overhead threats. Young animals, inexperienced in the ways of predator avoidance, provide opportunities for successful hunts that will sustain the clouded leopard through leaner times. Her territorial behavior reflects the three-dimensional nature of her habitat. She marks trees at various heights, creating a vertical map of scent boundaries that other clouded leopards can read and understand. Her vocalizations, including calls that sound remarkably like bird songs, allow communication across distances while maintaining the acoustic camouflage that serves her species so well. Even as the clouded leopard settles onto a broad branch to rest during the heat of midday, movement along the swollen rivers below reveals another of summer's remarkable survivors. The gharial basks on a muddy bank, his prehistoric form unchanged by millions of years of evolution. His narrow snout, bristling with interlocking teeth designed for catching fish, marks him as one of nature's most specialized predators. The massive male stretches nearly 6 meters from snout to tail tip, his body perfectly designed for life in moving water. His powerful tail, compressed laterally like a living rudder, propels him through river currents with surprising speed and agility. His webbed feet, more developed than those of other crocodilians, make him an exceptionally capable swimmer while leaving him awkward and vulnerable on land. The gharial's basking behavior serves multiple critical functions during the intense heat of Nepal's summer. As a cold-blooded reptile, he must use external heat sources to regulate his body temperature for optimal metabolism. The warming sun activates digestive enzymes that allow him to process the fish that form the bulk of his diet. His positioning, with jaws agape, also serves a thermoregulatory function, allowing excess heat to escape while displaying his impressive dental array to any potential rivals. Summer's monsoon floods create ideal conditions for gharial reproduction and feeding. Rising water levels bring fish populations into shallow areas, where the gharial's specialized hunting techniques prove most effective. His narrow snout, perfectly hydrodynamic, cuts through water with minimal resistance, while his closely spaced teeth form a trap, from which few fish can escape once caught. The gharial's role in river ecosystems extends far beyond his impressive predatory capabilities. His presence indicates healthy fish populations and clean water conditions. His nesting behavior, which involves females digging deep holes in sandy riverbanks, helps aerate soil and create habitat for other species. Even his basking sites become gathering places for smaller reptiles and birds that benefit from the micro-habitats created by his massive presence. Territorial males develop a distinctive bulbous growth called a gara at the tip of their snouts, which amplifies their vocalizations during mating season. The sounds they produce, ranging from deep buzzing calls to explosive hissing, carry across rivers swollen with monsoon runoff, communicating their presence and status to both rivals and potential mates scattered along kilometers of waterway. While the gharial maintains his vigil along the main river channel, the dense swamplands and oxbow lakes created by monsoon flooding provide habitat for another of Nepal's most impressive predators. The mugger crocodile moves through shallow water with surprising stealth, his broad snout and powerful build marking him as a more generalist predator than his fish-eating cousin. He represents adaptability refined through millions of years, equally capable of taking prey in water or launching devastating ambush attacks on animals that venture too close to the water's edge. The mugger's hunting strategy takes full advantage of summer's increased animal activity around water sources. He positions himself in channels that wildlife must cross to reach fresh grazing areas, his body submerged except for eyes and nostrils that remain above the surface like natural periscopes. His patience rivals that of any predator, remaining motionless for hours while animals gradually lose awareness of his presence. His powerful tail, comprising nearly half his total body length, serves as both propulsion system and weapon. In water, undulating movements of this muscular appendage can generate surprising speed during pursuit of prey or rivals. On land, the same tail becomes a formidable club capable of knocking large animals off their feet and into the water where the crocodile's advantages become overwhelming. The mugger crocodile's role in aquatic ecosystems extends beyond his immediate predatory impact. His presence helps control fish populations, preventing any single species from overwhelming aquatic food webs. His nesting behavior, which involves constructing large mounds of vegetation and mud, creates elevated microsites that provide refuge for smaller animals during flood periods. Even his territorial disputes, which involve impressive displays of strength and endurance, help maintain spacing that prevents overexploitation of limited aquatic resources. Even as the mugger settles into his patient ambush position, the forest canopy above comes alive with the spectacular aerial displays of one of Asia's most magnificent raptors. The crested serpent eagle circles above the emergent trees, his distinctive crest raised in a display of territorial dominance. His powerful wings, designed for soaring rather than speed, carry him effortlessly above the green sea of monsoon-fed forest as he scans for the snakes and lizards that form the bulk of his specialized diet. The serpent eagle's hunting technique reflects remarkable adaptation to life in dense tropical forest. Unlike raptors that hunt in open country, he has developed the ability to spot prey through breaks in the forest canopy, using his acute vision to detect movement on the forest floor far below. His spectacular hunting dives through multiple layers of vegetation require incredible precision and timing to avoid collision with branches and vines. His distinctive call, a loud, piercing whistle that carries across the forest, serves multiple purposes during the height of summer breeding season. The vocalizations help maintain pair bonds with his mate, while warning competing eagles away from his territory. His aerial displays, involving dramatic swoops and spirals high above the canopy, serve as both courtship behavior and territorial advertisement, visible to other raptors across vast areas of forest. The crested serpent eagle's role as a specialist predator of reptiles makes him particularly important in controlling snake populations that might otherwise pose threats to ground-dwelling birds and small mammals. His immunity to many snake venoms, combined with his powerful talons and beak, allows him to take prey species that few other predators dare to attempt. His presence often indicates healthy populations of the reptiles and amphibians that form the foundation of tropical forest food webs. In the steaming undergrowth of the forest floor, an ancient presence moves with liquid patience. The Indian rock python emerges from dense vegetation, her massive coils rippling with muscular power as she navigates terrain made treacherous by summer's abundance of water. Her beautifully patterned skin, marked with intricate designs of brown and gold, provides perfect camouflage among fallen logs and dappled shadows. This apex predator of the reptilian world demonstrates the patience that has made her species successful for millions of years. She moves through her aquatic hunting grounds with surprising grace for an animal that can exceed 6 meters in length and weigh over 70 kilograms. Her forked tongue constantly samples the humid air, processing chemical information that reveals the presence and direction of potential prey with remarkable precision. The python's hunting technique represents one of nature's most efficient killing methods. When she detects the approach of suitable prey, perhaps a spotted deer coming to drink or a wild boar seeking relief from the oppressive heat, she positions herself with mathematical precision. Her strike, when it comes, is lightning fast despite her massive size, her powerful coils wrapping around her victim with crushing force that prevents breathing while avoiding broken bones that might damage her meal. Autumn arrives in Nepal with a clarity that seems to sharpen every color, every sound, every sensation after summer's overwhelming abundance. The monsoon retreats gradually, leaving behind a landscape transformed by months of life-giving rain. The air becomes crisp and clean, washed free of summer's humidity and dust. Mountains that disappeared behind monsoon clouds for months emerge with startling clarity, their snow-covered peaks seeming close enough to touch from valleys far below. This is the season of preparation, when every animal must make the critical decisions that will determine their survival through another winter cycle. Food caches must be established, territories secured, and social hierarchies reinforced before winter's scarcity returns. The shortening days trigger ancient biological clocks, setting in motion behaviors that have ensured species survival for millions of years. The landscape itself reflects autumn's transitional nature. Deciduous forests burst into brilliant displays of gold, orange, and red as leaves prepare for their final contribution to the ecosystem. The fallen leaf litter becomes a treasure trove for insects and small mammals, while the nutrients released through decomposition prepare the soil for spring's renewal. High mountain pastures, green and lush through summer's growing season, begin their transformation back to the brown and gray palette of approaching winter. Migration corridors come alive with the movement of species responding to changing conditions. Birds that nested in high mountain valleys begin their journeys toward warmer wintering grounds. Large mammals start their seasonal movements between summer and winter ranges, following routes established over countless generations. The very air seems filled with a sense of urgency, as every creature responds to shortening days and cooling temperatures. High on the wind-scoured slopes where summer's green pastures have begun their transformation back to winter's austere palette. Movement among the rocks reveals one of the Himalayas' most impressive mountaineers. The Himalayan tahr picks his way across a near-vertical cliff face with the confidence of an animal born to impossible terrain. His thick, shaggy coat has begun to develop the dense winter undercoat that will protect him from the brutal cold of high-altitude winter. The mature male's impressive horns curve backward in perfect arcs, scarred from countless battles for dominance during the autumn rutting season. His powerful build, low-slung and compact, represents the perfect adaptation for life on precipitous slopes where a single misstep can mean death. His hooves, hard at the edges but soft and flexible in the center, grip rock surfaces with incredible precision, adjusting automatically to accommodate different angles and textures. Behind the dominant male, his herd follows in practiced formation across terrain that would challenge the most experienced human climbers. Females heavy with the offspring they will bear in spring move with careful deliberation, while younger animals display the seemingly reckless confidence of youth as they bound from ledge to ledge. The autumn gathering represents critical preparation time, as the herd establishes the social hierarchies that will determine access to the best shelter sites during winter's harshest months. The tahr's autumn feeding behavior reflects the urgent need to build fat reserves before winter food becomes scarce. They graze on the tough grasses and herbaceous plants that grow in protected pockets among the rocks, their efficient digestive systems extracting maximum nutrition from marginal forage. Their ability to survive on vegetation that would provide insufficient nutrition for most ungulates allows them to occupy habitat that remains largely free from competition. Territorial disputes among males intensify as the rutting season approaches its peak. The clash of horns echoes across mountain valleys as rivals test each other's strength and determination. These battles, while appearing violent, follow strict protocols that usually prevent serious injury. The winner gains access to receptive females and the prime feeding areas that will sustain the herd through winter. The Himalayan tahr's role in high mountain ecosystems extends beyond their impressive physical presence. Their grazing helps maintain the delicate balance of alpine vegetation, preventing any single plant species from dominating the sparse mountain flora. Their hoofprints create microsites where seeds can germinate, while their dung provides critical nutrients in an environment where soil development proceeds at a glacial pace. Even as the tahr herd navigates the challenges of high mountain life, the middle elevation forests ring with the complex vocalizations of one of Nepal's most intelligent and social species. A troop of Hanuman langurs moves through the canopy with acrobatic grace, their long limbs and prehensile tails perfectly adapted for arboreal life. The dominant male's distinctive whooping call carries across the valley, communicating the troop's location and his own formidable presence to any potential rivals. The langur troop's autumn activities center around the intensive foraging necessary to prepare for winter's reduced food availability. They demonstrate remarkable botanical knowledge, selecting leaves, fruits, and shoots based on nutritional content and seasonal availability. Their complex stomach system, similar to that of ruminants, allows them to digest the cellulose-rich plant material that forms the bulk of their diet. Social interactions within the troop become particularly important during autumn's preparation period. The intricate hierarchy, maintained through subtle displays of dominance and submission, determines access to the best food sources and the safest sleeping sites. Mothers with young offspring receive priority at feeding areas, while juveniles learn critical survival skills through observation and play behavior that mimics adult activities. The lead male demonstrates the protective instincts that maintain his position within the troop. His impressive canine teeth, visible when he yawns or calls, serve as weapons against predators and tools for intimidating rival males. His vigilance creates a security umbrella that allows the rest of the troop to focus on feeding and social activities while remaining alert to potential threats. Autumn grooming sessions become extended social events that serve multiple functions beyond simple hygiene. The mutual grooming reinforces social bonds, establishes hierarchies through the direction of grooming attention, and provides comfort during the stressful preparation period. The complex vocalizations that accompany these sessions create a continuous dialogue that maintains troop cohesion across the scattered feeding areas. The langur troop's territorial behavior becomes more pronounced as autumn progresses toward winter. They reinforce boundary markings with scent and vocalizations while defending key resources like fruit trees and water sources. Their detailed knowledge of their territory, passed down through generations of troop leaders, becomes invaluable as they identify the most productive foraging areas and the most secure roosting sites for the challenging months ahead. While the langur troop continues their noisy social interactions in the canopy above, a much more secretive drama unfolds in the shadowy understory below. A movement among the fallen leaves reveals the delicate form of a Himalayan musk deer, one of nature's most elusive creatures. The small male, standing barely 60 centimeters at the shoulder, moves through the forest with steps so light they barely disturb the carpet of autumn leaves beneath his hooves. His lack of antlers marks him as a member of one of the world's most primitive deer families, but the prominent canine teeth that protrude from his upper jaw like small tusks identify him as something special. These ivory-colored teeth serve multiple purposes: tools for stripping bark from trees, weapons for defending territory against rivals, and displays of dominance during the autumn mating season. His compact build and powerful hind legs make him perfectly suited for navigating the steep, rocky terrain of his mountain forest habitat. The musk deer's most remarkable feature remains hidden within a scent gland located on his abdomen, capable of producing one of the animal kingdom's most potent and valuable secretions. This musk, prized by humans for centuries for its use in perfumes and traditional medicine, serves the deer as a powerful communication tool during the breeding season. He pauses frequently to mark territory boundaries with precise dabs of this precious substance, creating an olfactory map that other musk deer can read and interpret. His feeding behavior reflects the specialized niche he has carved out in the forest ecosystem. Unlike other deer species that prefer grasses and herbs, the musk deer focuses on lichens, mosses, and the tender shoots of woody plants. His narrow muzzle and mobile tongue allow him to select the most nutritious parts of these challenging food sources, while his efficient digestive system extracts maximum benefit from materials that would provide little nutrition to other herbivores. The autumn preparation period represents a critical time for the solitary musk deer. He must establish and defend a territory large enough to support him through winter, while also attracting potential mates during the brief breeding season. His secretive nature serves him well during this vulnerable period, as his small size makes him attractive prey for a variety of predators, ranging from leopards to large birds of prey. As evening shadows lengthen through the forest, the musk deer demonstrates the wariness that has kept his species alive in an environment filled with threats. Every few steps, he freezes in place, his large ears swiveling to catch any sound that might indicate danger. His dark eyes scanning for movement among the trees. When satisfied that no immediate threat exists, he continues his methodical progress through his domain, leaving behind only the faintest traces of his passage. While the musk deer continues his secretive movements through the forest understory, the high mountain slopes reveal another autumn specialist, perfectly adapted to life at the edge of the possible. The Tibetan sandfox picks her way across a scree slope with careful precision, her thick, sandy-colored coat providing perfect camouflage against the weathered rock and sparse vegetation of her alpine habitat. She represents one of the few predators capable of thriving in the harsh environment above the tree line. The sandfox's hunting strategy reflects the challenges of finding prey in an environment where life exists only in scattered pockets of suitable habitat. Her exceptional hearing allows her to detect the movement of pikas and other small mammals beneath loose rock, while her patient stalking technique conserves energy in an environment where every calorie must be carefully managed. Her broad, furry paws distribute weight efficiently across unstable surfaces while providing insulation against frozen ground. Her den sites, carefully chosen among boulder fields and rocky outcrops, provide protection from both weather and predators, while offering multiple escape routes should danger threaten. The entrance tunnels, often extending several meters into rock crevices, maintain stable temperatures even when surface conditions become extreme. Her territorial markings, strategically placed on prominent rocks and ridges, communicate her presence across vast areas of seemingly empty landscape. The Tibetan sandfox's role in high-altitude ecosystems extends beyond her immediate predatory impact. Her hunting helps control populations of small mammals that might otherwise overgraze the sparse alpine vegetation. Her scavenging behavior, taking advantage of carrion left by larger predators or animals that succumb to harsh weather, helps recycle nutrients in an environment where decomposition proceeds slowly due to cold temperatures and low oxygen levels. Even as the sandfox settles into her rocky den for the approaching night, movement in the valley forest below reveals another autumn specialist, whose survival depends on entirely different strategies. The barking deer steps delicately through fallen leaves, her reddish-brown coat blending perfectly with the autumn colors surrounding her. She pauses frequently to test the air for scents that might indicate danger, her large ears constantly adjusting to catch sounds from every direction. The barking deer's feeding behavior reflects the opportunistic strategy that allows her species to thrive in diverse forest habitats. She browses selectively on leaves, shoots, and fruits, her mobile lips and precise teeth allowing her to extract maximum nutrition from available plant materials. Her stomach's complex chamber system enables her to digest cellulose-rich vegetation efficiently, while her compact size allows her to exploit food sources in areas too confined for larger deer species. Her territorial marking behavior becomes particularly important during autumn's preparation period. She uses scent glands located below her eyes to mark territory boundaries, creating an olfactory map that other deer can read and interpret. Her distinctive alarm call, a sharp bark that gives the species its common name, serves as both warning signal and territorial advertisement that carries through the forest understory. The barking deer's role in forest ecosystems includes both direct and indirect effects on plant communities. Her selective browsing helps maintain diversity in understory vegetation by preventing any single plant species from dominating available growing space. Her movement patterns create trails that other forest animals use for efficient travel through dense vegetation, while her dung provides important nutrients in forest soils where organic matter accumulates slowly. As autumn's golden light begins to fade, and the first hints of winter appear in the form of frost-touched leaves and morning mist that lingers longer each day, Nepal's incredible cycle of seasons prepares to complete another revolution. The musk deer's delicate hoofprints in the soft earth will soon be covered by winter's first snow, while high above, the Himalayan tahr begin their descent toward winter shelter. The langur troops adjust their ranging patterns as food sources dwindle, and across all of Nepal's diverse habitats, the eternal drama of survival and adaptation continues its ancient rhythm. From the highest peaks where snow leopards hunt baral across windswept ridges to the steaming lowland jungles where tigers stalk through monsoon-fed forests, each species has found its own remarkable solution to the challenges posed by one of Earth's most demanding environments. The red panda's bamboo fortress, the elephant's ancient wisdom, the gharial's prehistoric persistence, and the clouded leopard's aerial mastery all represent unique responses to the selective pressures that have shaped life in the Himalayas for millions of years. This is Nepal's greatest gift to the world, a living laboratory where evolution has crafted solutions to every conceivable challenge, where the drama of survival plays out against backdrops of breathtaking beauty, and where the turning of the seasons provides the rhythm for one of nature's most complex and compelling symphonies. As winter returns once again to complete the cycle, each species settles into the patient endurance that will carry them through to another spring, another chance to continue the ancient dance of life that has sustained them through countless generations. In this land where the earth reaches toward heaven, where every season brings its own trials and triumphs, the wild animals of Nepal continue to write their stories in snow and stone, in jungle and sky, proving day after day that life finds a way to flourish even in the most challenging corners of our planet. Nepal's wilderness, for all its grandeur and apparent permanence, exists today under the growing shadow of human influence. The rapid expansion of human populations, development pressures, and climate change have begun to reshape the ancient rhythms that have governed wildlife survival for millennia. Roads fragment migration corridors that have been used for thousands of years, while agricultural expansion pushes wildlife into increasingly marginal habitats. The success stories are real, but fragile. The one-horned rhinoceros population has recovered from fewer than 200 individuals to over 600 today, a conservation triumph built on community engagement and international support. The Bengal tiger population has stabilized, though it remains critically dependent on protected area management and anti-poaching efforts. Yet these victories exist within a larger context of habitat loss and human-wildlife conflict that threatens to undermine decades of conservation progress. Perhaps most troubling is the accelerating pace of climate change in the Himalayas, where temperatures are rising faster than the global average. The snow leopard's high-altitude habitat is shrinking as warming temperatures push the tree line higher up mountain slopes. The gharial's riverine habitat faces disruption from dam construction and water diversion projects that alter the natural flood cycles essential to successful reproduction. The challenge facing Nepal is to balance legitimate human development needs with wildlife conservation in a landscape where both people and animals have ancient claims. The solution, if one exists, lies in recognizing that human well-being and wildlife conservation are not opposing forces, but interconnected elements of a healthy ecosystem that can sustain both communities into an uncertain future.